Welcome back to another episode of Black Desert Academy. This is going to be covering the basics to farming. I'm not someone who's a hardcore farmer, but I'm just going to cover the general things, especially since a lot of people is giving me questions regarding how to get weeds. And I thought I kind of clarified it in the contribution video, but it's not a big deal. So I want to explain a little bit how you get weeds passively without having to actually go out in the grass and without having to actually go out in the grass, and gather all those weeds, which would be mind-numbingly boring. So, let's get to it, guys. Farming is actually very profitable. If you have your wits about you, then you can actually make as much as 100 mil a day farming. I personally do not choose farming because literally, I barely get to play this game at this point, but I play maybe an hour a day if I'm lucky. I haven't actually played the game at all this whole few weeks. So, anyways, let's first start with installing fences, okay? First thing I want to talk about when it comes to fences, you can find out where to get fences by typing in the search box by clicking the NPC button in the top right hand corner and typing in fence. Once you type in fence, every NPC in various territories will show up, who gives you a fence of various sizes. Even tells you how many slots the fence they have. That gives you 6 slots, 10 slots, 4 slots, and so on. Now usually the smaller slot fences gives you more slot per contribution points, but you can only have a maximum of 10 fences installed in the world at all times. So even if you spend less contribution points to get more slots using smaller fences, if you're looking to max out the amount of fence space you have to get the 10 slot strong fence. Sorry, I'm recovering over a cold. So without further ado now, I'm going to show you guys how to install a fence. First thing you want to do is go out to a place that isn't in a safe zone, okay? And then go to somewhere that usually has grass. You can check the humidity and water temperatures and the rain when deciding where you want to plant your fencing. Honestly, it is superior to have your fence in areas that are well hydrated, but it's not that mandatory. Okay, but I think a lot of these things affects the growth of your fences. Of your crops and stuff like that. So I think there's a Reddit post about it. So I'm not an expert, but this just things you can consider, and you can do some self research on the specifics on making the best spots for your fence possible. But for me, if it's close to my warehouse, it's the most optimum spot for me. So I'm going to recommend personally to keep your fences near your warehouse. So back to installing. So once you found the area that's not in the safe zone, you right click on your fence and this UI will open up that you see here. Now you have to place the fence where the center circle is in blue. Not all pegs within the square has to be red. Just as long as the center circle is glowing blue, you can install the fence. I'm using a shabby fence, which is that you get in the quest line. So this fence isn't costing me any contribution. So I'm just using this one for example in the video. Okay, so you see here, this is the fence I just installed. Okay, now if you look into my left, right below my level, you'll see these icons: residence, garden, worker, and so on. Now if you click the garden icon, then you will see the fence right here. Okay, now right on the worker category, you'll see a button that says list. Now if you hit the list button, you'll see a list of your workers pop up, and you can send any of these workers to work on your farm. Okay, now when you send workers to work on your farm, they will prevent it from bugs and crow attacks and other pruning and maintenance issues. But every time they do something to fix a crop, an RNG amount of weeds is sent to the warehouse of where that worker is originally from. Okay, so now this explains where I get all my weeds from. I don't farm anymore, but during my CP stacking phase that I told you guys in the academy, I made at least well over 20,000 weeds from my workers gathering all those beer grains and stuff. So I had a good surplus that lasted me a long time, just so I can use those regions to level up my alchemy, and then use the regions, then use the high level alchemy to make elixirs. So everything kind of went in this series of steps. Okay, so now that you installed your fence, you're going to want to put a crop in it. Okay, so usually you can get seeds from a seed vendor. But if you don't want to buy seeds with seed vendor, the best place is actually the marketplace. And I do suggest you, if you can, to start off with special seeds because it gives you the most value for your buck. Now I typed in special, but let me type in seed. Okay, so right here you'll see all the types of seeds. Blue tier gives you blue tier crops. White tier gives you white and green tier crops, and green tier gives you green and blue tier crops at RNG. So yeah, so you most often you'll get green tier, the same color crops from the tier of the seeds, but there's always a chance for it to go up one grade. That only one that doesn't apply that rule for is the blue one because blue is the highest grade, obviously. So keep that in mind. So when deciding what to plant, outside of the beer thing I mentioned in the first video, you guys should know what crops are in high demand. In order to be a successful farmer, you do need to be very, very, very detail oriented and well with time management to maximize your profit. And in this game, crops really rotate on popularity. Like one moment, selling raw sunflowers might be viable, then that becomes oversaturated and stuff like that. So market holes are rotating in the farmer's market. So you have to be someone who does harvests and then switch your crops up depending on what the needs of the people are in the game. So for example, right now there is no one farming special potatoes and selling in the marketplace. So if you're not interested in crates and doing that extra work and you just want to make pure profit, if you have like 100 slots of special potato seeds, you could be easily making 10 to 20 mil a day if you harvest enough times. Now this is not counting the this is also not counting hards and sharps if you pruned it yourself. That's where the 100 mil a day really comes from. So let's go back more into detail, okay? So some crops that you see here are used for multiple things. Some people use crops for either reduction of weight for when they're crafting big things and doing the AFK for a long time. You can also use special crops for crates, for higher EXP and higher valued crates. You can use special crops for selling directly, use special crops for elixirs. There's so many different things you use these things for. When deciding what to sell, you have to look at the total amount of accumulated sales first. Okay, so right where you see like the green accumulated trades, this shows you how many times that this item has been traded or sold. Okay, so items with high amounts of accumulated trades are usually a safer bet to sell. So let's find something with high, like this, like special carrots. Okay, 13 million special carrots has been sold. The reason why special carrots is a good idea to farm is because there are horse trainers, but it's also something that is steady, meaning that because there aren't many horse trainers, if everyone bandwagon to special carrots after this video, you literally would just end up having a bunch of special carrots that will never sell because it'll take a while for the horse trainer to consume all those carrots and need more. Plus the price already dropped due to that, so let's not let it drop anymore. It's at a healthy price. Next is special potatoes. 2 million special potatoes sold, and these are a fair crop to sell, and you'll make a decent amount of income. So special potatoes, special sweet potatoes, and usually beer grain types will usually easily sell directly into the marketplace if you're interested. Okay? So, and we just went over briefly what the crops are. I'm not going into detail telling you what to sell, but as long as you know if it has high accumulated trades, like this, for example, sunrise herbs, and not many in stock like sunrise herb is, then you know you can sell it for the time being. Don't think it's a one-trick pony. You're going to have to rotate your crops. You can't be just a broccoli farmer and that'll be all you do. That'll be the entire thing on your resume. That's not going to happen. Not if you want to be successful. So just keep that in mind. So if you do want to be a full-time farmer, always watch what crops are in need. I showed you how to install a fence, and I showed you where the worker comes from. Just to wrap things up, I do want to show you guys a little bit more of the fundamentals when it comes to having a fence and having a larger farm. I don't have enough contribution to have a strong fence anymore, and I don't want to that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to overhaul my empire, so I'm just going to show you what this is. This is a carpentry shop, okay? Now these items, the scarecrow and the waterway, these things will support your crops to grow faster and prevent them from dealing with attacks from crows, which also slows down their growth speed. Now these two items are completely these two items are useful if you're a long time AFKer, but if you're someone who AFK for only 3 to 4 hours a day, these items will work against you. Okay, if you someone who only AFKs for short periods of time a day, I highly recommend that you actually prune your entire farms yourself every 4 or 5 hours. This is how you get the hards and sharps. And hards and sharps has a higher drop rates from farming and from farm management than it does from regular gathering. And once you level up your farming skills, you'll be able to get manage your work at your farms without consuming as much energy. So it's good to use at least 2 characters for farming if you're a big time farmer, because the energy needs to get divided up and the burden can be heavy, especially if you have a large farm. So if you do want to make a high amount of money, self pruning, which is self farm management and not sending workers, will get you in that higher bracket of daily income from farming. But if you don't have a lot of time, you should buy this waterway or make one using a carpentry shop. And the resources are fairly easy. 2 logs, 8 bottles of river water, 1 blackstone powder. Fairly easy to make. Scarecrow 2 is pretty easy. 10 logs and 1 blackstone powder. Scarecrows keep the crows away, and water helps absorb more water into the ground whenever it rains in the area that your farm is placed on. So I think that covers everything for a beginning tutorial. You kind of have an idea of what to sell and stuff like that. And I think that's pretty much all I want to cover in this video. I'm sorry, I'm really tired, but I did promise to make do a quick upload on this, and I'm sorry to the person who I said I'll make it sooner. This real life stuff has been keeping me really busy. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it just helped you guys who are thinking about farming, just have a basic idea of how it goes. Remember that to find any fence you need, type it in the top right corner for NPC, and they'll show you a list of NPCs with the fences. Okay? And if you want to make up to, I'll say, about 100 mil a day if you're hardcore enough, as an active farmer, you have to be managing your farm yourself and pruning it yourself. Okay? Much love, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you guys haven't already, please join the Discord and come hang with us whenever I have free time. You can come chat with me, and also I can respond to questions a lot faster on the Discord. Any other questions can be answered on the Facebook page or in the comments when I have time. Okay, guys? You guys have a great night or day, and I'll see you guys next time.